small part to complete, and when we complete that, the chapter will be completed. As I said, that we're going to start with a new chapter also today. So basically, some part of photomorphogenesis and vernalization is remaining, which we will be talking about today. And before we proceed with that, of course, कल का जो lecture हमारा हुआ था, that was a very important lecture, and we tried to figure out the reason for flowering, you know, how the flowers are being made and how the uh, shoot is getting modified into a reproductive bud, you know. So that is what we had tried to study in yesterday's class. So I hope you all have understood something called as photoperiodism, right? And of course, we are also seeing the reason for, yeah, Vidya. We are also seeing the reason for the photoperiodism with respect to PR and PFR. So LDP, SDP, DNP, um, these were the words that we saw in details. I told you all that you'll have to remember the examples of LDP, SDP, and DNP. And they are frequently asked in your examinations. And along with that, uh, the PR and the PFR, which were the two interconvertible forms of the phytochrome, uh, which is causing the the absorption of a peculiar wavelength of light. You know? So PR was capable of absorbing 660 nanometers, and it was rapidly getting converted into PFR, and PFR could then absorb 730 nanometers, and it would then get converted into PR. So it was an interconvertible form which we saw, and at the end of the, the bottom line of the discussion was whenever PFR accumulates during the day, it is going to help in the long day plants to flower, and when the PR will accumulate during the night, it will cause the short day plants to flower. Correct? So that was the bottom line. Ki whenever PFR accumulates more, now when will PFR accumulate more? Only when the sunlight will be for a more than critical photo period. Now, yesterday I told you all that critical photo period is nothing to do with the length of the day. It is associated with the average temperature that particular area will be receiving in 1 year. Okay, so we try to find out the critical photo periods of almost all different flowering plants. And yesterday's example that we saw was for xanthium. Its critical photo period was 15.6 hours, and still it was a short day plant. And hyoscyamus was having its critical photo period of 11 hours, and still it was a long day plant. So we tried to justify those points as well. Then we talked about something called as the florigen, which was the hormone which is going to be produced in the leaf, and it will be carried from the leaf to the bud region, which will make the uh, vegetative bud get converted into reproductive. Okay, so these were the few things that we had seen in yesterday's class. Anyone having any difficulty? बताओ बच्चा, किसी को कोई पॉइंट नहीं समझा हो तो प्लीज लेट मी नो. This is what we had to start with for the analyzation photomorph. Shall we move ahead? Pakka? No problem, no issues. So these notes are already there with you all. I've already given you all this long back. So if still there is any problem, you all are please free to ask me any doubts anytime. Right? Well, so on this note, we go ahead with photomorphogenesis. As we know, morphogenesis means to attain a like a shape and form some structure which we can identify, like leaves है, root है, stem है, branch है, flower है. So these are the few structures which we can identify. That is called as morphogenesis. And when these morphogenesis takes place during the availability of light, that time what would be the conditions of these organs is something that is associated with photomorphogenesis. So when plants are grown in continuous darkness, they become etiolated. That is, such plants are longer, weaker, having yellowish half open leaves. तो etiolated का मतलब क्या होता है बेटा? नॉन ग्रीन. Remember this word, because the next lecture, the next topic that I'm starting with is mineral nutrition, which is again a continuation of this same, discussion, but uh, in a different aspect. Now, what do you mean by etiolation and what do you mean by mineral deficiencies is very different. So, etiolation is yellowing, that is losing green color, that is losing chlorophyll in the absence of sunlight is called as etiolation. So ये point को please note करिएगा बेटा कि etiolation is nothing to do with mineral deficiency. It is associated with the availability of sunlight. So whenever the plants would be grown in complete darkness, they won't get sunlight at all. And when they do not get sunlight, the leaves lose their chlorophyll. They become yellow in color. So yellowing of leaf due to lack of sunlight is going to be called as etiolation. And yellowing of leaves because of mineral deficiency is going to be called as chlorosis, which will be coming. जो आगे मैं पढ़ाने ही वाली हूँ. Fine. So do not forget this word etiolation. Okay. Having yellowish half open leaves, while light grown plants do not show such conditions. When etiolated plants are kept in light, they gradually develop the green color and they become normal. Fine. So they can uh, be brought to normal if we expose them sunlight. The effect of light is reversing etiolation involves two kinds of actions. One, the biochemical level for the synthesis of chlorophyll, and secondly, at the level of morphogenesis, light acts to promote expansion of the leaves and inhibits elongation of the internals. So there are two reasons why the leaf would become green. When exposed to sunlight. So first they are saying the biochemical level where the chlorophyll molecule has to be formed. So whenever light will be given in the right amounts, chlorophyll molecule का synthesis हो जाएगा. और जैसे ही chlorophyll molecule का synthesis हो जाएगा, the plant will start photosynthesizing and will become green in color. Second, they are saying that due to the light availability, the leaf which was half open now will open completely, increasing the surface area for photosynthesis. Okay. This phenomenon is called as photomorphogenesis and is independent of the direction of light. Whatever would be the direction, doesn't mind. Light मिल रहा है, तो it would be used for photomorphogenesis. The action spectrum of photomorphogenesis reveals that plants are most sensitive to red light, but blue light is ineffective. So this is what has been found by the action spectrum. Okay, that means थोड़ा भी red light मिला तो immediately conversion start होने को initiate हो जाता है. Red light के लिए वो बहुत sensitive है. You know the reason also. Red light will be absorbed by chlorophyll. Which chlorophyll? Come on, tell me. I want an answer from you. Red light कौन absorb करता है? Who absorbs the red light? Which pigment? Which pigment absorbs red light? PFR far red करता है. Photosynthesis के हिसाब से which is the important pigment which will absorb red light from photosynthesis? हाँ, I agree बच्चा. You're right, Preksha. I just want the name of the chlorophyll molecule. Which chlorophyll will absorb red light? You are right, my dear Sneha Sharma. You're perfectly right. No, no. No, no. Phytochrome, whatever answer you're giving as phytochrome is for flowering. I am saying for photosynthesis. My question is for photosynthesis. My question is very simple. My question is, which chlorophyll will absorb red light for photosynthesis? Komal, you're right. No. Mukta, you're right. Come on, if you don't answer this question, what is the use of going so much into details with the things? हाँ, मैंने पूरा आपको विबग्योर समझाया था फोटोसिंथेसिस में. वॉयलेट, इंडिगो, ब्लू कौन एब्जॉर्ब करता है? येलो ऑरेंज कौन एब्जॉर्ब करता है? ग्रीन कौन एब्जॉर्ब करता है? रेड कौन एब्जॉर्ब करता है? यस आर्या, यू आर राइट. I have given you that complete spectrum, right? So which chlorophyll is going to absorb which color? Only 3, 4 of you all have given me the right answer. हाँ Preksha, now you are right. Now you are right, Preksha. मतलब पहले भी you had given the right answer, but it was not to the point. Now your point-wise answer is perfect. No बेटा, PR जो है वो फ्लावरिंग के लिए है. मैं फोटोसिंथेसिस की बात कर रही हूँ. PR भी रेड लाइट एब्जॉर्ब करता है, लेकिन 660 नैनोमीटर का एब्जॉर्ब करता है. मैं फोटोसिंथेसिस की बात कर रही हूँ जो 680 और 700 नैनोमीटर्स रेड लाइट एब्जॉर्ब करती है. नो, द आंसर इज नॉट क्लोरोफिल बी. कम ऑन, मैंने आपको शॉर्ट ट्रिक भी बताई थी. क्लोरोफिल बी एंड ब्लू लाइट, बी और बी से स्टार्ट होते हैं. So VIB, violet, indigo, blue. Blue light will be absorbed by chlorophyll B. Reaction center is chlorophyll A. Chlorophyll A is the only pigment which is capable of absorbing red light. How many times I would have repeated this? How many times? The red light for photosynthesis will be absorbed by PS1 and PS2, which is having reaction center 700 and 680 nanometer वाला. नहीं बताया था क्या मैंने? कितनी बार मैंने ये पॉइंट रिपीट किया था? Violet, indigo, blue by chlorophyll B, yellow, orange by carotenoids. कितनी बार मैंने रिपीट किया था ये? And red will be 680 nanometers to 700 nanometers will be your red zone, which will be captured by your chlorophyll A, which is the reaction center. How many times I had explained this? So look at the question and answer. If they are asking the red light absorbed for flowering, then your answer PR is correct. If they are asking red light for the photosynthesis activity, then your answer will be chlorophyll A. So there is a vast difference between the two. One that PR is going to use that red light of 660 nanometers for initiation of flowering, but red light of 680 nanometers or 700 nanometers will be captured by chlorophyll A for photosynthesis. सो क्वेश्चन को बहुत ध्यान से देखिएगा. एज स्टूडेंट्स आपकी हमेशा की गलती क्या होती है? यू ओनली लुक एट दैट रेड लाइट एंड यू आंसर व्हाटएवर. अभी जैसे कि अभी मुझे कितने सारे बच्चों ने क्लोरोफिल भी आंसर दिया है, कैरोटेनॉइड्स भी आंसर दिया है. अरे भाई, हाउ कैन यू से क्लोरोफिल बी और कैरोटेनॉइड्स? हाँ, क्लोरोफिल बी फॉर ब्लू लाइट, कैरोटेनॉइड्स फॉर येलो ऑरेंज लाइट. ये मतलब, ये तो सिंपल सी बात है ना. सो PFR अगर लिख रहे हो आंसर में तो PFR, FR stands for far red. Far red means beyond 700. Up till 700 it is red. Beyond 700, more than 700 will become far red. Okay, so प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड दी क्वेश्चंस. आपका प्रॉब्लम क्या है पता हो मैं आपको. आपका प्रॉब्लम ये है कि आप लोग है ना क्वेश्चन को पूरी तरह से पढ़ने की तकलीफ लेते ही नहीं है. You just read the keywords and you answer the, like an option without even understanding what is the question. That is the main problem for you all to lose your marks. Please read again and again. I'm telling you all, read the question twice, thrice, till you understand what is being asked. Now, इतना छोटा सा डिफरेंस है रेड लाइट फॉर फोटोसिंथेसिस या रेड लाइट फॉर फ्लावरिंग. And there was so much of variety of answers that I got, and I thought each one of you all will quickly answer me chlorophyll, because red light for photosynthesis is equal to chlorophyll. Blue light for photosynthesis is equal to chlorophyll B. So here they are talking about what? Here they are talking about photomorphogenesis. So they are saying red light में फटाफट photomorphogenesis होते हैं, because red light जैसे मैंने अभी बताया is the reaction center. So we have detailed study about all these things. Anyway. Then we come to something called as vernalization, which is the concluding part of this chapter. What do you mean by vernalization? Russian agronomist Lysenko coined the term vernalization. Do not forget his name. He is an important person. According to him, vernalization may be defined as a method of inducing early flowering in plants by treatment of their seeds at low temperatures. Early flowering. इसका मतलब, if a plant is a biennial plant, few lectures before only I had asked you all what is annual, biennial and perennial, है ना. तो मैंने तभी भी आपको biennial ये word explain किया था. कोई मुझे वापस याद दिलाएगा क्या what is biennial? Come on, tell me the meaning of biennial. I want an answer. Right. Biennial plants क्या होते हैं? Very good, Sneha Singh. Yes, Sanika, Samiksha, Komal, you all are right. Very good, Preksha. Very good, Parnavi. Very nice, beta. Very good, Arya. So I hope now you all remember what is. Very good, Vita. Perfect. Perfect. So now I hope that you all know what is it. No, it doesn't occur twice a year. यही मैंने बताया था. I told this only. It doesn't occur twice in a year. Flowering will take place only once in a lifetime. In 1 year, it will complete its vegetative growth, and in the second year, it will complete its reproductive growth. That is called as a biennial. Okay, so it doesn't occur twice in a year. Many students were confused. Like biennial means the flowering will happen twice. No, their entire life cycle, that is vegetative growth plus reproductive growth, will be completed in 2 years. So now, those plants which will take 1 long year to complete their vegetative growth. Okay, ऐसे plants में we can bring about something called as early flowering. So instead of completing their life cycle in 2 years, they will complete their life cycle within a year or so. Did you understand? So their vegetative growth period should be reduced. How can we reduce their vegetative growth period? देखिए ये phenomenon का समझिएगा बेटा, books में कुछ भी दिया नहीं है. So please try to understand this very carefully. So for the plants like biennials, which will normally take 2 years to complete its life cycle, we have to reduce its life cycle to 1 year, not compromising on their flowering effect, but bringing about their vegetative growth faster. तो एक साल उनको लग रहा था for root development, for the stem to develop, for the leaves to develop. It was taking almost a year. What vernalization has done is it has reduced this vegetative phase so that so that that vegetative phase, I mean that vegetative growth, instead of being completed in 1 year, would get completed within 4 to 5 months. Now, once that vegetative growth period has become lesser, it becomes easy for initiation of the flowering at an early age. हाँ या ना? समझ में आए बात? तो हम क्या करते हैं वर्नलाइजेशन में? वर्नलाइजेशन एक ऐसा मेथड है, इट्स अ लो ट्रीटमेंट, मतलब लो टेम्परेचर ट्रीटमेंट होता है. सीड्स होते हैं ना, सीड्स ऑफ दैट प्लांट आर सब्जेक्टेड टू वेरी लो टेम्परेचर ट्रीटमेंट. And when we give low temperature treatments, we are reducing their vegetative time span of growth. Amount of growth will be the same. जो एक साल में सपोज 100 लीव्स आने वाले थे, तो वो 4 to 5 months में 100 लीव्स आ जाएंगे. जो एक साल के बाद जितना स्टेम थिक होने वाला था, वो 4 to 5 months में स्टेम थिक हो रहा है. Okay, so what are we doing? We are reducing the vegetative growth span and we are bringing the reproductive growth earlier in their life. Just by doing what? Just by giving them low temperature treatment. This process is called as vernalization. Got it? Got this? Yeah, this is a very beautiful process and it has been used commercially, especially for commercial crops like wheat. वीट जो है आपको पता है, वीट जो है वो बाइनियल है एंड वीट जो है वो कोल्ड कंडीशंस वाले जो एरियाज है उधर ग्रो होता है. सी चंडीगढ़, हरियाणा, है ना, नॉर्थ ऑफ इंडिया इज फेमस फॉर वीट प्रोडक्शन. सो there the temperatures become very cold and very hot. So during the cold winter season only, the seeds used to be sown, and it used to take 2 years to complete that entire मतलब दिसंबर 2020 में अगर सीड्स को सो किया है, तो December 2021 they'll complete their vegetative growth, and 2021 December to 2022 December, right? It will take 1 more year to complete its flowering or reproductive growth. And then the crop would have been harvested. Correct? So it used to take 2 years almost to, one crop of wheat to grow. Now, because of fertilization, what has happened? December 2020 में जो सीड्स ग्रो करे हैं, वो सितंबर अक्टूबर या नवंबर 2021 तक हार्वेस्ट किए जाते हैं. अब देखिए क्या हो रहा है. अब देखिए क्या हो रहा है. एक साल एक्स्ट्रा मिला हमें उतना ही क्रॉप उस एरिया में वापस ग्रो करने के लिए. So in 2 years, if it was 100 tons of wheat that was grown, now in 2 years we get 200 tons. So don't you think it is commercially most viable project? Secondly, after harvesting many times we will have to wait. तो अगर मार्च या अप्रैल में किसी क्रॉप का हार्वेस्टिंग हो रहा है, तो वो क्रॉप को वापस सो करने के लिए, वो सीड्स को वापस सो करने के लिए विल हैव टू वेट फॉर द नवंबर दिसंबर टू कम. मतलब 6-7 महीना वेस्ट चला गया. वो that crop land is there but it's of no use. Why? Because the temperatures which are required for the seeds to be sown are not naturally available. So because of these certain problems, to overcome these problems, this unique process of vernalization was introduced. Okay, so see, these are the plants for which flowering is either quantitatively or qualitatively dependent on exposure to low temperature. This phenomenon is called as vernalization. Agreed? The low temperature requirement of flowering was first noticed by Clifford while working with winter varieties of cereals such as wheat, barley, oat, rye. ये सारे जो है ना बेटा, all four of them, whatever the names have been put forward, wheat, barley, oats and rye, They all require low temperatures for sowing the seeds. Okay, so Clifford noticed this. He for these peculiar crops we require low temperatures. So what he did see, he observed that these varieties, when sown in spring season, failed to flower the same year, but they grew vegetatively. What do you mean by spring season? Which season is spring? बताइए. स्प्रिंग इंडिया में स्प्रिंग सीजन कौन से मंथ में स्टार्ट होता है? हाँ, अभी जो चल रहा है वो. यस, यू आर राइट. वेरी करेक्ट बेटा. कर्णवी राइट. मार्च, बसंत ऋतु जिसको हम कहते हैं ना, होली के टाइम से आगे, वो जो बसंत ऋतु है ना, दैट इज एक्चुअली स्प्रिंग सीजन इन इंडिया. सो इफ दी नवंबर वैरायटीज, मतलब ठंडी के मौसम में जो वीट वैरायटीज या वो जो सीड्स क्रॉप हम लोग करते हैं, those varieties if they are sown in the month of March, they will remain vegetative. They won't progress ahead with reproductive growth the same year. Okay. Such winter varieties, when sown in the autumn, they flowered in the spring of the same year. So what did he understand? कि autumn means अपना winter, है ना. तो उन्होंने क्या देखा कि जो विंटर में वैरायटीज सो किए जाते थे, they used to undergo flowering by the next spring season. That was his observation. Okay. Site of vernalization. The stimulus of vernalization is perceived only by the meristematic cells such as shoot tip, embryo tip, root apex, developing leaves, etc. So, for your uh, photoperiodism, it was only the developing leaves. But site of vernalization, the signal of vernalization will be picked up by the meristematic cells, which will be present in the apices, developing embryos, and developing leaves. It prevents precocious reproductive development late in the growing season. It prevents precocious reproductive development. What do you mean by the word precocious? Anyone know? This is an English language word. Precocious का मतलब क्या है? Pre means before, है ना. अब थोड़ा सा सोचिएगा बेटा. Precocious. हाँ, वेरी नाइस, वेरी नाइस प्रणवी, बिल्कुल सही बेटा, बिल्कुल सही आंसर. वेरी नाइस, वेरी नाइस. आई एम नॉट टेकिंग प्रिकॉशन. No, no, no. That is the reason I asked you, because many students feel like that way. Caution का spelling CAUTION है. ये precautions का spelling लिखिए COCIOUS है. Yes, Manan, you're right. You're right. Yes, Samiksha, perfect. See, it's basically, attaining reproductive maturity in the juvenile age. Juvenile means vegetative in case of plants. So they are still in the vegetative phase, and during that time only they get early reproductive capacities. तो इसको हम कहते हैं प्रिकॉशियस, मतलब अभी तक वेजिटेटिव डेवलपमेंट कंप्लीट हुआ ही नहीं है और उसके पहले ही रिप्रोडक्टिव मैच्योरिटी आ जाती है. या वेरी नाइस. यस, सो डेवलपमेंट इन द अर्लियर स्टेजेस ऑफ लाइफ. अभी तो प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, but during olden times even this condition was seen in human beings when the girls were married at a very tender age. They did not even have the, you know, I mean, they did not even have that much of senses of their own lifestyle and their own body. And before that only they used to conceive. So, छोटी छोटी बच्चियां होती थी, 14-15 years की, 16 years की, and like they used to conceive. So something like that, and that was the reason, one of the predominant reasons कि पहले है ना deaths बहुत ज़्यादा होती थी newborns की, because it was a precocious development. That girl's her own reproductive system has just started to develop. It has not completely developed also. And before that only, if she is, forced to become a mother, how will she say that, how that life will be supported? And therefore early deaths hoti thi, of the newborns, or sometimes even, those girls used to die. So that is precocious, like getting the reproductive developmental stages in the juvenile phase. Okay, so here vernalization will prevent the precocious reproductive development. Why? Because the vegetative phase will be completed within few months rather than 1 year. So vegetative growth एक बार complete हो गई, then there is no problem to attain reproductive growth. Correct? So it is going to prevent precocious. So you understand what is precocious? Not considering with the word precaution. Precocious is early development. ठीक है? And enables the plant to have sufficient time to reach the maturity. So because the vegetative period of growth will be reduced, they'll have ample of time to reach maturity. Is it fine? Got this? Then ये बॉक्स क्यों आ गया बीच में भी वापस? Requirement of vernalization. Vernalization अगर कराना है तो what is the basic requirement? First is of course low temperature. Low temperature required for vernalization is usually 0 degrees to 4 degrees Celsius in most of the cases. The chilling treatment should not be immediately followed by high treatment. Otherwise, the effect of vernalization is lost. This phenomenon is called as devernalization. So चिलिंग ट्रीटमेंट देने के तुरंत बाद है ना 40 डिग्रीज का एक्सपोजर नहीं होना चाहिए कभी भी, ये तो डीवर्नलाइजेशन हो जाएगा, मतलब द इफेक्ट ऑफ वर्नलाइजेशन विल बी लॉस्ट. ड्यूरेशन, it varies from species to species and it could be from few hours to even few days. Actively dividing cells, yes, vernalization stimulus is perceived only by the meristematic cells, that is the actively dividing cells. Therefore, vernalization treatment can be given to the germinating seeds or whole plant with meristematic tissue and other conditions. So generally, we can give the treatment of vernalization to the seeds. या फिर seedling which is not more than 10 days old. ये point याद रखिएगा. The seedling should not be more than 10 days old. Why? Because the signal is perceived by whom? Meristematic cells. And जब तक वो seedling है तब तक उसमें मेरिस्टेमेटिक सेल्स है. तो 10 दिन के ऊपर वाला जो सीडलिंग है, it would have attained a permanent shape, size and function at least in some areas. So that is of no use there. So either the vernalization treatment is given to whom? The seeds or seedlings which are only up to 10 days old. Okay. Water, of course. Proper hydration is must for perceiving the stimulus of vernalization. Oxygen, aerobic respiration is also a requirement of vernalization. The stimulus has been named as vernalin. Okay, so the hormone which will stimulate this action of vernalization, उसको हमने नाम दिया है, या स्टिमुलस को हमने नाम दिया है vernalin. Okay, so these are the requirements of vernalization. Anything not followed in this? ये easy वाला part है actually, है ना? Process. So what is the process? Usually vernalization treatment is given to the germinating seeds. The seeds are moistened sufficiently to allow their germination. Seeds को germination के लिए पानी की ज़रूरत है. They are then exposed to a temperature of 0 to 4 degrees Celsius for a week or depending upon the species and sown into the fields. Lysenko developed the process of vernalization. It is completed in 2 stages. एक है thermo stage, एक है photo stage. Germinating seeds are treated with 0 to 5 degrees Celsius in the presence of oxygen and slight moisture. The seed dormancy is therefore broken. Fine. And photo stage means exposing to sunlight. The stage is very essential to initiate the reproductive phase. After vernalization, plants must be subjected to correct photoperiod in order that they may produce flowers. So सिर्फ ट्रीटमेंट ऑफ सीड्स देकर कुछ काम का नहीं है. सीड्स को हमने लो टेम्परेचर ट्रीटमेंट दिया, आफ्टर दैट वेजिटेटिव ग्रोथ हुआ, आफ्टर विच यू हैव टू गिव देम देयर क्रिटिकल photoperiod. Otherwise, flowering is not possible. Okay, so vegetative growth fast होने के लिए थर्मो स्टेज है एंड रिप्रोडक्टिव ग्रोथ अटेंड होने के लिए फोटोपीरियोडिज्म की जरूरत है. Do you all get this? Okay, so another example of vernalization is seen in biennial plants. Biennials are monocarpic plants. What do you mean by monocarpic? See, it's written that normally flower and die in the second season. मतलब एक ही बार फ्लावरिंग करेंगे and then they will die. In the chapter of reproduction in organisms that we had done earlier, है ना, in that monocarpic, polycarpic ये वर्ड्स आए हुए हैं. अगर किसी को कंफ्यूजन है ये वर्ड्स में, प्लीज रेफर दोज लेक्चर्स. रिप्रोडक्शन इन ऑर्गेनिज्म वाला लेक्चर है ना. चलिए, sugar beet, cabbages, carrots are some of the common biennials. Never forget these names. They are printed in your NCERT textbooks and your government textbooks, so they are expected to be asked in your examinations. Subjecting the growing of biennial plant to a cold treatment stimulates a subsequent photoperiod flowering response. So immediately there will be, photoperiod response will be seen in such plants and they will profusely produce flowers. बहुत ज़्यादा फ्लावरिंग होता है फिर जिन 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 प्लांट्स को वर्नलाइजेशन ट्रीटमेंट मिली है वो प्लांट्स में. इट्स अ वेरी unique and very beautiful process developed by Lysenko. Importance of vernalization: it's believed to overcome some inhibitors and induce synthesis of growth hormones like gibberellins. You already know in gibberellins this word of vernalization had come, and that time I had explained to you all vernalization is nothing but giving cold treatment, है ना. सो यही वापस यहाँ पर रिपीट हुआ है that gibberellin hormones के हिसाब से fertilization is believed to overcome some inhibitors and it induces synthesis of gibberellins. So vernalization करेंगे तो gibberellins बनेंगे, gibberellins बनेंगे तो amylase अल्फा amylase ब्रेकडाउन फटाफट हो जाएगा. अल्फा amylase ब्रेकडाउन होगा तो एनर्जी लिबरेट हो जाएगी, बहुत ज़्यादा एनर्जी लिबरेट हो जाएगी. It will be utilized for cell division. More will be the cell division, faster will be the growth of the plant, right? It reduces vegetative period of the plant. It prepares the plant for flowering. It increases yield, resistance to cold and diseases. Vernalizations can remove kernel wrinkles in wheat. Okay, तो जो kernel होता है, you know what is a kernel? Kernel is everything that is present within the seed. Let it be embryo, let it be endosperm, let it be the testa, let it be the tegumen, everything together will be called as kernel. तो ये कर्नल ऑफ द सीड के ऊपर जो रिंकलिंग इफेक्ट आता है ना, वर्नलाइजेशन उसको भी निकाल देता है. वर्नलाइजेशन इज बेनिफिशियल इन रिड्यूसिंग द पीरियड बिटवीन जर्मिनेशन एंड फ्लावरिंग. तो वेजिटेटिव पीरियड कम हो गया तो वो गैप भी कम हो गई. Thus, more than one crop can be obtained during the year. So instead of having one crop in 2 years, you can have 2 crops in 2 years. Get it? So this is the importance of fertilization. That's all with this chapter. That was plant growth and development. Any difficulty, any doubt in understanding any point? कोई भी point नहीं समझा ऐसा कोई है क्या बेटा? अगर कोई है तो come on, let me know. Is anyone having any difficulty? Fertilization, photomorphogenesis, photoperiodism. चलो बताओ फटाफट, थोड़ा रिकलेक्ट करो. हमने जो 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 कुछ किया है ये चैप्टर में, just recollect and ask me if you have got any difficulty. No difficulty. Great. Either you have genuinely understood everything or you have not understood anything. Etiolated, बेटा etiolated का मतलब होता है yellowing of leaves due to non-availability of sunlight. Etiolation is yellowing of leaves due to non-availability of sunlight. Okay. What do you want me to explain? Critical photoperiod. Okay. Critical photoperiod is going to be the average sunlight that will be available at a particular place in an year. 1 year में approximately कितना सनलाइट ऑन एन एवरेज प्रेजेंट है. जैसे कल हमने मुंबई की बात की, तो मुंबई में ड्यूरिंग द समर सीजन द sunrise is at somewhere around 5:30 and sunset is somewhere around 7:30. So 5:30 to 7:30 is equal to 14 hours, है ना? Only during the summer season. During the winters, the sunrise will be around 7 o'clock in the morning and sunset will be somewhere around 5:30 in the evening. है ना? 6 ले लो चाहिए तो it will be around 11 hours. तो 14 plus 11 divided by 2 अगर हम करते हैं तो आपका क्या आंसर आता है? What is your answer, beta? 14 plus 11. 14 hours during the summer, 11 hours during the winter. What is your answer? 12.5 hours. Correct? So the critical photo period of Mumbai is going to be 12.5 hours. So the plants which will flower, if they get sunlight more than 12.5 hours, will be your LDPs. And those plants which will flower when they get sunlight less than 12.5 hours, they will be SDPs. ठीक है, समझा? तो क्रिटिकल फोटो पीरियड एक प्लेस का होता है और उस प्लेस में जो क्रिटिकल फोटो पीरियड अवेलेबल है उस हिसाब से उधर के स्पीशीज डिफाइन होते हैं. इसलिए सारे प्लांट सारे दुनिया भर में नहीं मिलते हैं. Certain plants are found in certain areas only, certain regions only, because they are that particular species का critical photo period should match with that area का critical photo period. Only then they will be able to flower. Is it fine? Got it, beta? Having any difficulty still? किसी को है और भी डाउट? समझ में आ गई बात? चलिए फाइन. अभी भी कुछ फोटो पीरियड के बारे में प्रॉब्लम है तो बोलो. हाँ, नो प्रॉब्लम, इट्स ओके, बिकॉज दिस फेनोमेना दिमाग के अंदर घुस के एब्जॉर्ब होने के लिए थोड़ा टाइम जाएगा. ठीक है, फाइन. सो ऑन दिस नोट वी गो अहेड विथ या. सो व्हाट वी हैड स्टार्टेड विद बच्चा, हमने क्या स्टार्ट किया था? हमने स्टार्ट किया था समथिंग विद फोटोसिंथेसिस. इन फोटोसिंथेसिस हमने देखा there are certain external factors and certain internal factors which affect the growth of the plant life, है ना? तो external factors temperature, light, water, ये सब हमने डिटेल में देखे. फ्लावरिंग भी हमने देखा. और हमने इंटरनल फैक्टर्स में क्या देखा? द 5 हार्मोन्स, ऑक्सिन, जिबेरेलिन, साइटोकाइनिन, इथुलिन, एबीओ, है ना? ये 5 ग्रोथ हार्मोन्स या ग्रोथ रेगुलेटर्स आई वुड से, ये कैसे रोल प्ले करते हैं इन द लाइफ ऑफ द प्लांट, ये हमने देखा. नाउ देयर आर सर्टेन other than these 5, there are certain other minerals which will be dramatically having their effects on the life of the plants. ठीक है, इसीलिए ये मिनरल्स अगर कम ज्यादा है तो क्या हो सकता है, इनके बारे में हमें थोड़ा सा समझ के लेना है, ठीक है। मिनरल न्यूट्रिशन is also a chapter of your 12th standard according to your government textbook. But according to your NCRT, mineral nutrition is a chapter which will be available in your 11th standard textbook. ठीक है, जस्ट लाइक अभी हमने जो पीजीडी किया ना उसी के जैसा है। पीजीडी चैप्टर आपके 12 बोर्ड्स का है, इसलिए आपके 12th स्टैंडर्ड टेक्स्ट बुक ऑफ बोर्ड्स में मिलेगा। लेकिन एनसीईआरटी वालों ने यही चैप्टर 11th के टेक्स्ट बुक में इंक्लूड करा है। For mineral nutrition also, the same particular thing implies. According to textbook of government, that is your board textbook, mineral nutrition chapter will be available in 12th standard textbook. According to NCERT, the same chapter has been included in 11th standard textbook. तो अगर आपको वाया एनसीईआरटी इसको पढ़ना है तो आपको कौन सा बुक ओपन करना पड़ेगा? विच बुक फॉर एनसीईआरटी लेवल? 11th स्टैंडर्ड। एंड अगर आपको बोर्ड्स प्रिपरेशन करना है इसका तो आपको कौन सा बुक ओपन करना पड़ेगा? 12th स्टैंडर्ड। परफेक्ट, okay na? So I hope there is no confusion with this. So even this particular topic is going to be asked for your board exams. Okay, fine. So let us go ahead with the sharing of this. किधर गया? Yeah. So as we know, mineral nutrition, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus. Yeah, bacha, this is a part of your paper 1. That is botany का part ही है ये. It's a part of your paper 1. Calcium, magnesium, soil basically. So that hand itself is showing without soil, the growth of the plant is not going to be perfect. So along with the 5 hormones which are a part of the plant, what are the things that the plant will be requiring from the soil and from the atmosphere is what we are talking about as mineral nutrition. Okay, got it? Mineral nutrition, it includes absorption, distribution, metabolism of various inorganic substances or minerals by plants. So right now we are focusing on what? Inorganic substances. Okay, I hope you all know what is organic and what is inorganic. इतनी chemistry आती है सबको, मुझे पता है. Methods to study the mineral requirements of plants. Mineral requirements of plants is determined by culture experiment first developed by Julius von Sant. ये नाम already आ चुका है पहले भी, है ना? So it is going to be the culture requirement which was studied, that is mineral requirement that was studied by Julius von Sant. Culture experiments are hydroponic experiments. I think you would be knowing this word. If you don't know, I'll explain. Hydro means water. Okay, so instead of ponic is mineral water. Okay, so instead of growing plants in soil, Julius von Sack has used mineral solution, water in which certain minerals were added. He has used this solution to grow plants in a soil-free medium. Soil-free medium. And he was very, very successful in growing these plants, even if soil was not available. But the content of soil were available. What are the contents of soil? Different minerals. Okay. So what Julius von Sack said, we say soil is important, soil is important. Agreed. But that doesn't mean that if the soil is not available, we cannot grow plants. We can grow plants by the technique of hydroponics. So that is what he has worked on, which we even will be doing it in detail, in which plants are grown or the seeds are grown to maturity in a defined nutrient solution completely in the absence of soil. So there is no soil that is going to be available. It's going to be a soil-free medium. ठीक है? The first complete prescription of all known mineral salts required for the preparation of culture solution was given by Arnon and Hogland. Many a times it has been asked. Proper prescription मतलब क्या? रेसिपी हमारे लैंग्वेज में ना हम इसको रेसिपी कहते हैं. 1 teaspoon of हल्दी, 2 teaspoon of मसाला, half teaspoon of अदरक, 2 क्लव्स ऑफ गार्लिक. जो हमारी रेसिपी होती है ना, वैसे ये रेसिपी है. किसकी रेसिपी है? मिनरल्स कितने डालने हैं ये पानी में, सो दैट द प्लांट्स कैन ग्रो लग्जूरियंटली. ओके फाइन. उस पानी में जो भी कुछ हम सॉल्ट्स डालने के बाद जो बनेगा शरबत, उस शरबत को हम कहते हैं कल्चर सोल्यूशन. ठीक है. आजकल बहुत धूप बढ़ रही है. यू आर फीलिंग वेरी थर्स्टी, यू आर फीलिंग वेरी हॉट, सो वी ऑल ड्रिंक शरबत ड्यूरिंग दिस टाइम, है ना. हम जब स्कूल में थे ना, व्हेन आई वाज इन स्कूल, द फर्स्ट थिंग that was a trend, I would say, or it was a culture in my family. हमारा फाइनल एग्जाम का लास्ट पेपर जब भी होता था, लास्ट डे ऑफ आर पेपर, सबसे पहले घर जाने के टाइम पे, क्या घर आने के बाद हमारी मम्मी, जब वी वर स्मॉल तो मम्मी लेके आती थी. हम थोड़े 8, 9, 10th में हम लोग गए, उसके बाद हम खुद पैसे लेके जाते थे. द फर्स्ट थिंग दैट वी यूज्ड टू डू वाज, व्हाइल गोइंग होम फ्रॉम द लास्ट पेपर, 2 चीजें लेके जानी होती थी. 2 चीजें. एक था, उन्हें रसना के पैकेट्स आते थे, ऑरेंज फ्लेवर, नींबू पानी फ्लेवर, ऐसे रसना के पैकेट्स मिलते थे, जिसमें एक पाउडर होती थी और इतना इतना एक लिक्विड सोल्यूशन होता था. तो सबसे पहले घर पे वो लेके जाने का, रसना का एक पैकेट या 2 पैकेट, और दूसरा आइसक्रीम. उस दिन, जिस दिन हमारा एग्जाम खत्म हुआ है, उस दिन अगर रात में हम पूरे फैमिली साथ में बैठ के अगर आइसक्रीम नहीं खाएंगे तो चलता ही नहीं था. Right from my childhood days, I am born and brought up in a joint family. So we were many people in my house. So my grandfather, my grandfather's elder brother and their family, like बहुत बड़ी फैमिली हमारी हुआ करती थी तभी भी. टुडे ऑल्सो आई स्टे इन अ जॉइंट फैमिली, तभी भी. तो मतलब है ना, वो एक प्रोग्राम होता था. घर जाने के बाद वी ऑल लाइक ब्रदर्स सिस्टर्स यूज्ड टू बी टुगेदर. इतना टांकी भर के रसना बनाने का, बहुत मजा आता था. एंड रात में सब लोग बैठ के आइसक्रीम खाने का, वो एक कल्चर था, वो एक ट्रेंड था. अभी आजकल तो तुम्हें वेकेशन ही नहीं मिलते हैं, आई कैन अंडरस्टैंड, लेकिन आइसक्रीम वाइसक्रीम कभी कभी खा लेने हैं. कोरोना टाइम में नहीं, पहले के टाइम में. सो एनीवेज, लाइक वो कुछ छोटी मोटी यादें होती रहती है. कितने भी बड़े हो जाओ, कितने भी बूढ़े हो जाओ, स्कूल लाइफ कभी भूल नहीं सकते, है ना. तुम लोग तो अभी अभी स्कूल में से बाहर निकले हो, तुम लोग कैसे भूलोगे. बट इवन वी लाइक नाउ, we all have left school so many years long back, but still school life is the best time of our life. I think you all will agree to this, है ना. हाँ, गोला गोला भी खाते थे. बर्फ का गोला तो हम लोग घर पे बनाते थे, बहुत मजा करते थे. एनीवेज, तो देखो, मैं रेसिपी ऑफ शरबत से लेकर कहाँ से कहाँ तक हम लोग बातें करते गए, है ना. एनीवे, उसमें भी मजा है. Here we are talking about what cultural solution. हाँ हाँ, एग्जैक्टली, हम लोग भी वही करते थे. वो कोला बनाने का, रसना उस पे डालने का, अरे बहुत मस्ती करते थे, बहुत ज़्यादा, बहुत ही ज़्यादा. एंड व्हेन आई वाज एक्चुअली इन स्कूल ना, वी यूज्ड टू स्टे एट बांद्रा. तो बांद्रा में बैंड स्टैंड हमारे घर के पास था. देन जूहू चौपाटी एंड ऑल नियर सांता क्रूज वाज वेरी क्लोज. 10 मिनट में हम लोग चले जाते थे वहाँ पर. So that, like school days were great. हाँ, हाँ है ना, यस एक्चुअली। कॉलेज खुलना चाहिए ना, खुलेगा खुलेगा बेटा। अभी ये साल तो आई होप कि द थिंग्स विल बी नॉर्मलाइज विद इन फ्यू like days, I would say. I know the cases are again going on a steep rise, but still, actually the problem is very different. So इसीलिए ये प्रॉब्लम ज़्यादा हो रही है। एनीवेज खुलेंगे खुलेंगे, कॉलेजेस भी खुलेंगे, डोंट वरी, जल्दी ही खुलेंगे। तो आई थिंक होपफुली वी विल बी सीइंग ईच अदर वेरी सून। आई ऑल्सो वांट टू मीट यू ऑल ऑफ कोर्स। मुझे भी आपसे मिलना है, 1-to-1 इंटरेक्ट करना है। ऐसे तो हम लोग करते ही है, लेकिन फिर भी है ना, तो मिलेंगे, जल्दी मिलेंगे। So you understood what is the culture solution now, and it was given by whom? Arnon and Hogland. In culture experiments, a solution containing various mineral elements is prepared. The elements whose deficiency symptoms are to be studied is made deficient in the solution. For example, for example, एक क्या बनाते हैं? चलो पाव भाजी बनाते हैं। अब उस पाव भाजी में हर एक का टेस्ट, एक पेक्यूलर टेस्ट आती है पाव भाजी की, है ना। अब हम क्या करेंगे, एक एक दिन एक एक सब्जी या एक एक इंग्रेडिएंट उससे उसमें कम डालेंगे। फाइन। तो आज पाव भाजी बनाएंगे, उसमें नमक नहीं डालेंगे। कैसे लगेगा ये? बकवास। सारी टेस्ट जो है वो इतने से नमक के वजह से है ना। बट टू अंडरस्टैंड द इम्पोर्टेंस ऑफ दैट नमक, हम उसको डाल नहीं रहे हैं, तब जाके हमें नमक का इम्पोर्टेंस समझ में आ जाएगा। अग्रीड। सो नाउ यू केम टू नो, नहीं नहीं नमक तो चाहिए, नमक के बगैर पाव भाजी नहीं बन सकती, राइट। तो आज हमने किसको डेफिसिट कर दिया? नमक को डेफिसिट कर दिया। कल हम लोग क्या करेंगे? कल हम लोग क्या करेंगे? पाव भाजी बनाएंगे, नमक भी डालेंगे, पाव भाजी मसाला नहीं डालेंगे। Will it taste like pav bhaji without pav bhaji masala? It will taste like any other सब्जी जो देख के भी बहुत बोरिंग लगती है या नहीं? तो उससे क्या हो गया? पाव भाजी मसाला का इम्पोर्टेंस समझ में आ गया है या नहीं बेटा? यू अंडरस्टैंडिंग? तो एक एक करके हम लोग एक एक इंग्रेडिएंट को डेफिसिट बनाते हैं। मतलब क्या करेंगे? डालेंगे नहीं, और उसका इफेक्ट क्या होता है वो देखेंगे। ठीक है। थर्ड डे क्या करेंगे? पाव भाजी मसाला भी डालेंगे, नमक भी डालेंगे, टमाटर नहीं डालेंगे। अब विदाउट टमाटो सिर्फ आलू की सब्जी खानी है क्या पाव भाजी मसाला डाल के? You understand? So what is the meaning of this? The element whose deficiency symptoms are to be studied is made deficient in the solution, so that we understand what is the effect of that particular ingredient or element. Did you understand this? Yeah. Okay. So ये लाइन का मीनिंग समझ लेना है बेटा। तो इसलिए मैंने पाव भाजी का एग्जाम्पल दिया, बिकॉज आई नो यू ऑल पीपल लाइक टू ईट पाव भाजी, है ना। मुझे पता है बहुत अच्छी तरह से। Anyway, the seedlings are reared either directly in such solutions, which we call as solution culture, or in earthen pots having sand, called as sand culture. तो दोनों कल्चर्स है जिसको हम सैमो कल्चरिंग भी कहते हैं। सैंड इज ऑल्सो कॉल्ड एज सैमो, PSAMMO, सैमो कल्चरिंग कहते हैं, या हाइड्रोपोनिक्स या सैमोपोनिक्स कहते हैं। हाइड्रोपोनिक्स मीन्स वाटर, डायरेक्टली सीड्स को हमने ये मीडियम में डाल दिया, वाटर के न्यूट्रिएंट मीडियम में, या फिर सैंड में डाला। Culture experiments are useful in knowing essentiality of mineral nutrients. Of course, किस न्यूट्रिएंट का क्या रोल है? रोल ऑफ एसेंशियल एलिमेंट्स। नमक के बगैर पाव भाजी इम्पॉसिबल है खाना, इसलिए वो इसेंशियल है। पाव भाजी मसाला के बिना पाव भाजी बन ही नहीं सकती, इसलिए वो इसेंशियल है। ओके। सो इसेंशियल एलिमेंट्स कौन से हैं विदाउट विच दैट पाव भाजी कैन नॉट बी कॉल्ड एज पाव भाजी. ऐसे कौन से इसेंशियल एलिमेंट्स है दैट ऑल्सो कैन बी फाउंड आउट. ओके, you can understand the deficiency symptoms, right? And toxicity due to excess element. अगर आपने इतने नमक के जगह पर इतना नमक डाला तो उसका इफेक्ट क्या होगा वो भी आपको पता चलेगा. अग्रीड. सो एक्सेस भी नहीं होना चाहिए, कम भी नहीं होना चाहिए, ऑप्टिमम होना चाहिए. So this can also be studied by the culture experiments, what is being explained on this particular slide. ठीक है, जो एक्चुअली इजी है, बट अगर किसी को नहीं समझा हो तो बोलो बेटा. Anyone who has not understood anything? Okay. Hydroponics by Julius von Sack. How did he do this? See, the technique of growing plants in soil-free, defined nutrient solution is called as hydroponics. Plants are raised in small tanks or concrete or metal. टैंक में होता है या एक कॉन्क्रीट पॉट लिया जाता है या मेटल पॉट लिया जाता है, किसी में भी हो सकता है. टैंक्स आर प्रोवाइडेड विथ न्यूट्रिएंट सोल्यूशन. ऑफ कोर्स हाइड्रोपोनिक्स में अगर न्यूट्रिएंट सोल्यूशन ही नहीं है तो किधर ग्रो करेंगे सीड्स को. An arrangement is there to circulate air as well as nutrient solution. So here you can see this is the aerating tube. This is the aerating tube. Here you go. So it is going to help in passing or mixing the air. Okay. Air is important. It is useful in areas having thin, infertile and dry soil. So those areas which do not have good quality of soil, there also we can grow plants by this hydroponics method. It is successfully employed as a technique for commercial production of vegetables such as tomatoes, seedless cucumber and lettuce. So hydroponics has been commercially exploited for these three productions. Do not forget the names: tomato, सीडलेस कुकुम्बर एंड लेट्यूस. ये तीनों हाइड्रोपोनिक्स से आजकल बनते हैं. और ये जो असेंबली आपको दिखाई दे रही है ना बच्चा, ये असेंबली है अपने जूलियस वॉन सैक भैया ने जो अरे ये क्या हो रहा है, जूलियस वॉन सैक जो है उन्होंने ये असेंबली बनाई है. तो ये असेंबली में उन्होंने क्या क्या डाला है देखो. फनल फॉर एडिंग वाटर. तो ये देखो यहाँ पर है ना, this is aerating tube, this is the nutrient solution and you can see cotton plugs everywhere. इधर भी cotton है, इधर भी cotton है, इधर भी cotton है ना. What is the reason for the cotton to be there? The cotton is going to prevent any unwanted contaminant to enter inside. वो सील कर देगा उस गैप को, जो भी गैप बची है ना उधर वो सील कर देगा और पैथोजन फ्री, कंटामिनेंट फ्री सोल्यूशन रहेगा. So cotton is going to be very important for preventing the entry of any unwanted pathogens, microbes, dust particles, flies, mosquitoes, anything to enter over there because there is a gap in between. Fine, got it? So this is the speciality of uh, hydroponics का setup done by Julius von Sack. बहुत पुरानी बात है, आजकल ये सिस्टम यूज होता है. Types of hydroponics. Now, what is your doubt? Beta? Are there significant difference uses of soil? Hydroponics is only a substitute, but commercially it has been used. Now, if you come to my society, even on my terrace, we are having this hydroponic plant, and we are growing our own tomatoes, coriander, spinach, lettuce, cabbages. ये जो है हमारे टेरेस पे एक एरिया ही है, बहुत बड़ा, मतलब हमारा टेरेस है तो एक एरिया ही है जहाँ पर हमने ये हाइड्रोपोनिक्स का टैंक लगवाया है. एंड वो जो हमारा गार्डनर है ही टेक्स केयर ऑफ दैट हाइड्रोपोनिक्स. मतलब कभी कभी तो इतना सरप्लस हो जाता है ना कि हम ऐसे ही डिस्ट्रीब्यूट कर देते हैं हमारे सारे सोसाइटी मेंबर्स में. सो इट्स लाइक अ वेरी ब्यूटीफुल अप्रोच. and it's going to be in a, like एक vessel है, बड़ा सा vessel है, not like too deep. ये कैसे दिखाई दे रहा है आपको? Something like this only it is going to be there. It's there upstairs only on our terrace. And we grow all these. I mean, we in the sense that gardener has only taken the initiative of doing. This plan was proposed some 7-8 years ago. I had just proposed this कि there's a section of terrace ना जहाँ पर वो थोड़ा डेंजरस एरिया है, वहाँ से बच्चे लोग है ना नीचे देखते हैं या ऑल ना, तो वहाँ पर हम लोग फेंसिंग नहीं डाल सकते हैं बिकॉज ऑफ सम कंस्ट्रक्शन का इशू। तो उधर क्या करें? We couldn't close that. So this was an option that was given. Let us try to get this hydroponic setup. Let's try. Almost 7-8 years अभी हो गए and we are actually very happy with this nutrient film system. हमारे terrace पे ये second system है, nutrient film वाला system है. It's very useful. Yeah. Not bigger and all, but yeah, they are definitely without any chemicals. ऑर्गेनिक है, अपना खुद का है, सॉइल की झंझट नहीं है। तो सॉइल अगर डालेंगे ना तो रेनी सीजन में एंड ऑल ना वो पूरे सोसाइटी में ऐसा वो पता है वो ब्राउन कलर का ऐसा वो पानी का ये आ जाता है नीचे। देयर इज नथिंग लाइक दैट। You can keep on recirculating the same culture medium again and again by adjusting the nutrient levels and all. So it's a very clean method and very beautiful method. This is like anyone can have it, of course. It's a very beautiful method. धनिया तो मतलब कभी मुझे याद ही नहीं है कि मैंने अभी इतने सालों में कभी लाइक कोरिएंडर धनिया जो होता है कोथिंबीर वो कभी मैंने खरीदी है। बहुत फास्ट क्रॉप आ जाता है धनिया का, बहुत फास्ट, और इतना भर भर के आता है। तो लाइक वेरी सिंपल। There are two systems. See, one is the tank system. The roots are immersed in nutrient solution air in bubble through the solution. So न्यूट्रिएंट सॉल्यूशन में डालते हैं और एयर जो है वो बबल किया जाता है। तो ये एक मेथड है टैंक मेथड। और दूसरा जो है जो आजकल यूज होता है दैट इज न्यूट्रिएंट फिल्म सिस्टम। सो द प्लांट्स आर ग्रोन इन अ ट्यूब हैविंग थिन फिल्म ऑफ रिसर्कुलेटेड न्यूट्रिएंट सॉल्यूशन। सो ये देखो बेटा, ये पाइप दिखाई दे रहा है, दिस इज अ पाइप, दिस इज अ मेटल पाइप। ओके, तो ऐसे ना बहुत सारे पाइप्स आप लगा सकते हो इन दैट गिवन एरिया, जितने चाहिए उतने, जितना एरिया आपके पास अवेलेबल है उतना। ऐसे सर ऐसे गोल 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 वो हम मंदिरों में जाते हैं ना दर्शन के लिए, तो कैसे घूमते हैं, ये ऐसे 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 घूमते रहते हैं ना हम लोग वो लाइन में, वैसे ये पाइप्स लगाने के। ओके, और क्या करने का, ये जो प्लांट्स है ना इनके रूट्स जो है ना उस पाइप के अंदर होने चाहिए, and that pipe will contain the nutrient solution which will be recirculated via the reservoir. So here you can see this is the nutrient reservoir जिसमें एक पंप फिट किया जाता है। तो नीचे ये ब्लू लाइन दिखाई दे रही है बेटा, हाँ, तो ये देखो, ये यहाँ से ये पाइप में से पानी मतलब न्यूट्रिएंट्स अंदर चले गए, वो न्यूट्रिएंट्स इधर से ऐसे फ्लो हो रहे हैं, राइट, ये फ्लो होके वापस इस सेम रिजर्वोयर में आ रहे हैं। ओके, सो इट विल बी कंटिन्यूसली रिसर्कुलेटेड, एंड जितना न्यूट्रिएंट यूज होता है अप्रोक्सीमेटली उतना इस टैंक में वापस फिल अप कर देना है, ऐड करना है। हाँ, या इन द स्कूल ये प्रोजेक्ट होता ही है, इन स्कूल ये प्रोजेक्ट होता ही है हाइड्रोपोनिक्स का। So this is the way it's actually done. It's very beautiful method. So here you can see this part of this ये जो भी leaves grow करा रहे हैं हम लोग, इसके जो roots है ये nutrient medium है। ये देखो, can you see this blue color का thing? That is the nutrient solution, and you can see the roots immersed in there. और जैसे ही आप वो मतलब जैसे ही वो leaves अच्छी तरह से grow होते हैं, just chop them off, maintaining their roots. So, again and again you can get the same crop. It's very simple to do it. Fine. So this is what is your nutrient film system. Hydroponic plant production. Plants are grown in a tube or trough. Trough मतलब vessel. Placed on a slight incline. थोड़ा नीचे की तरफ होना चाहिए. A pump circulates a nutrient solution from the reservoir to the elevated end of the tube. So here you can see the elevated end of the tube. The solution flows down the tube and returns to the reservoir due to gravity. In set shown, a plant whose roots are continuously bathed in aerated nutrient solution The arrows indicate the direction of the flow. Okay. Yeah. What's your doubt, beta? Oh, yes, you are right. This is the way that they do it. You can grow the plants in this nutrient solution up to a particular growth period, and once you see the growth has started, then you can, you know, place them in soil. Yeah, even we can do like that. Okay. Advantages of hydroponics: it can be practiced on terrace. Yeah, it's actually practiced on my terrace or balcony as land is not required, water is not wasted. Continuous or off-season cultivation is possible. Plants are protected from soil-borne diseases or nematodes. Procedures such as plowing, making beds, de-weeding, watering is not required. So see, this is the way the tomatoes have been grown by hydroponic techniques. And this is your lettuce that is being grown. ये जो आपको दिखाई दे रहा है ना, ये सेम टू सेम हमारे टेरेस पे यही सिस्टम अडॉप्ट किया गया है. This one which you can see over here. Fine. So these are the advantages. Just like hydroponics, we have got aeroponics and thermoponics. Aeroponics, in this technique, roots are suspended in the air over the nutrient solution, which is whipped into nutrient mist by a motor-driven rotor. ये देखो, ये न्यूट्रिएंट सोल्यूशन है, इसमें है ना मिक्सी चलता है. जस्ट लाइक अ मिक्सी, ये ब्लेड्स होते हैं जो ये ना एक whipped क्रीम के जैसा बन जाएगा. Okay, whipping होता है उसमें, and the mist will be thrown out, and these plants will be growing in the midst of this nutrient solution. This is called as aeroponics. Air में होता है. That roots are not coming directly in contact with the nutrient solution. That is aeroponics. Fine. Sand culture is samoponics. Samoponics, in this method, sand is used as a rooting medium and nutrient solution is added to it. So you can see in these trays now sand has been placed and plants will be grown in these trays. That is samoponics. So hydroponics, nutrient medium. Aeroponics, mist of nutrient medium in the air. Samoponics, nutrient medium added in the sand and plants are grown in the sand. Samoponics. Fine. What's your doubt? Nematodes. What are nematodes? Animal kingdom आपका हुआ है. Tell me what are nematodes? You have been taught animal kingdom ना? हाँ. तो बोलो nematodes क्या होते हैं? Yeah, they are worms. Yes. What is your doubt बेटा? You did not get aeroponics. Simple है. ये डायग्राम देखो. ये न्यूट्रिएंट सोल्यूशन है. इधर मिक्सी के जैसा है जो ये न्यूट्रिएंट मीडियम को है ना घुमाएगा. ओके. और ये जो है उसका मिस्ट बनेगा. यू नो व्हाट इज मिस्ट ना? व्हाट इज मिस्ट? वो जो वेपर क्रिएट होता है वो. And that will come in contact with the roots and they will grow in the air using this vapor or the mist. That is called as aeroponics. Fine. Diagram is very clear for aeroponics. Yeah, they are worms. I agree. So nematodes are your roundworms. Correct. Fine. Now, yeah. You're right, Manchu. Instead of water, the mist is used as a source of water. Correct. Bilkul correct. Well, then we come to essential mineral elements. Now, यहाँ से कहानी बहुत मस्त चालू होने वाली है अपनी, क्योंकि इसमें बहुत सारे पॉइंट्स हैं जो इजी है और मैं उसके शॉर्ट ट्रिक्स बताऊंगी. आई विल गिव यू ऑल शॉर्ट ट्रिक्स फॉर दिस. Now, using hydroponics method by Julius von Sack, he found out which are the essential mineral elements required for the plant without which the plant will not be able to sustain or grow. जैसे पाव भाजी में अगर पाव भाजी मसाला और नमक नहीं डालेंगे तो हम उसको खा नहीं पाएंगे. उसी तरह कौन से essential elements होते हैं for the overall plant growth. So, out of 105 elements discovered so far, More than 60 elements are found in different plants. Some plants accumulate heavy and toxic materials like selenium, gold, radioactive strontium in plants growing near nuclear sites. तो अगर उनके सॉइल में ये एलिमेंट्स अवेलेबल है तो प्लांट्स है ना ये एलिमेंट्स भी एब्जॉर्ब कर लेते हैं. कौन से? selenium, gold, strontium, whatever elements are available, they'll be capable of absorbing it, but only if they are available. Okay. There are techniques that are able to detect the minerals even at low concentration, that is 10 raised to minus 8 gram per ml. All elements found in plants are not essential for them. तो अगर उन्होंने गोल्ड लिया इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि हर एक प्लांट को गोल्ड सप्लाई करना चाहिए. नो, it's not essential. If available, they'll take it. Fine. There are certain criteria to know essentiality of an element. So, is this element essential or is it just taken up because it's available? क्या क्या है वो समझने के लिए कुछ criteria है. That is criteria for essentiality. The criteria for essentiality of elements are as follows. The element should be necessary for normal growth and reproduction, and in the absence of this particular element, plants cannot complete their life cycle. अगर ऐसा कोई एलिमेंट है, then that element will be called as essential. कौन सा वाला? जो नॉर्मल ग्रोथ एंड रिप्रोडक्शन के लिए चाहिए, और अगर वो नहीं है तो प्लांट विल नॉट बी एबल टू कंप्लीट इट्स लाइफ साइकिल. ऐसा वाला अगर कोई एलिमेंट है तो उसको हम एसेंशियल एलिमेंट करेंगे. ठीक है. सेकेंड, which element would be essential? Second rule, the requirement must be specific and not replaceable by any other element. तो ये नहीं है ना, चल ना ठीक है ना ये डाल दे काम हो जाएगा, नहीं चलेगा. फिर नमक नहीं है तो शुगर डाल के पाव भाजी नहीं खा सकते या कुछ भी ना. सीरियसली रिप्लेस नहीं होना चाहिए. इट कैन नॉट बी रिप्लेसेबल. करेक्ट. इतना इंपॉर्टेंट होना चाहिए, वो इतना एसेंशियल होना चाहिए कि भाई ये नहीं है तो प्लांट ग्रोथ नहीं होगा सही तरीके से. That is again one more criteria, that it cannot be replaced. Third, element must be directly involved in the metabolism of the plant. Directly involved in the metabolism. It should not be remaining कहीं ना कहीं जाके पड़ा हुआ है, जब चाहिए तो ले लेगा, नहीं. उसका direct involvement होना चाहिए. Okay. So these are the three basic criteria which are very important. First क्या है बेटा? Normal growth and reproduction cannot be completed without that element. Second, it cannot be replaced. Third, it should be directly involved in the metabolism of the plant. ठीक है. ये तीन important points हैं. Based on the above mentioned criteria, 17 elements have been found out to be essential. So see, 105 have been found out in nature. Out of 105, 60 have been found out in plants. But out of that 60, only 17 elements are essential. मतलब सिर्फ 17 ऐसे एलिमेंट्स हैं जो नॉर्मल ग्रोथ एंड रिप्रोडक्शन के लिए चाहिए, without which the plant cannot grow. There are 17 elements which cannot be replaced. There are 17 elements which are directly involved in the plant metabolism. Got it? Clear? Yes. So ये 17 कौन से हैं? Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, sulfur, magnesium, calcium, iron, boron, manganese, copper, zinc, molybdenum, chlorine and nickel. Only 17 याद रखनी है आपको. Okay. Others are non-essential elements. Some non-essential elements are required by higher plants like sodium. Sodium is not essential, but it will be required by higher plants. Silicon, cobalt, selenium. ये जो चार है ना बेटा, they are called as beneficial elements. They are not essential elements. They are beneficial. Means if they are there, then the plant will definitely benefit. ठीक है. समझा? जैसे कि पाव भाजी के ऊपर अगर चीज डालते हो तो इट इज बेनिफिशियल फॉर टेस्ट, नॉट फॉर हेल्थ। चीज पाव भाजी खाने का आजकल ट्रेंड है लोगों में, तो चीज क्या है? बेनिफिशियल। चाहिए ही ऐसे कुछ नहीं, विदाउट चीज ऑल्सो पाव भाजी विल बी पाव भाजी ओनली, बट वेन यू एड चीज ऑन इट that will be beneficial with respect to taste. Same way, sodium, silicon, selenium, cobalt. These are beneficial elements, not essential, but beneficial. I hope you understand the meaning between essential and beneficial by now. So, पाव भाजी मसाला, नमक, टमाटर, ये सारे क्या हो गए? इसेंशियल हो गए पाव भाजी के लिए। बेनिफिशियल क्या हो गया? लोडेड विद बटर, एक्स्ट्रा चीज, ये सारा बेनिफिशियल हो गया फॉर टेस्ट। अगेन आई एम मेंशनिंग फॉर टेस्ट, नॉट फॉर हेल्थ। ओके, सो हाँ, वेरी करेक्ट प्राची। तो बेनिफिशियल इज 4 चांद लगा देना उसको, है ना? तो दैट इज बेनिफिशियल। सो रिमेंबर द 4 बेनिफिशियल एंड द 17 विच आर एसेंशियल। ठीक है, 17 वालों का ट्रिक देती हूँ, डोंट वरी। Types of essential elements. Elements are two types based on their quantitative requirements. First, macronutrients. Second, micronutrients. Name से पता चल रहा है. Generally, macronutrients are present in the plant tissue in large amount. Large मतलब कितना? In excess of 10 millimoles per kg of dry matter. 10 millimoles, not 10 moles. 10 millimoles. So, जो एलिमेंट्स 10 मिलीमोल से ज़्यादा चाहिए प्लांट को, उसको हम कहते हैं मैक्रो। ओके, एंड माइक्रो देखिए, the elements needed in very small amount, that is less than 10 millimoles per kg of dry matter, will be called as micronutrient. तो मैक्रो एंड माइक्रो, इन दोनों में फर्क समझा? सिंपल है। व्हाट डज इट इंक्लूड? अब macro will include carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen. P is for phosphorus, K is for potassium, calcium, sulfur, magnesium. 9, 17 में से 9 जो है ना, वो मैक्रोन्यूट्रिएंट्स है। अब इसको याद कैसे करें, है ना? हिंदी, मराठी, देवनागरी लिपि आपको पता है? देवनागरी लिपि में आप लिखते हो, हिंदी में या मराठी में जो अल्फाबेट्स आप लिखते हो उसको देवनागरी लिपि कहते हैं। उसको याद कीजिएगा तो ये इजी हो जाएगा। व्हाट इज इट? चॉन, पैक, कैस, मग। चॉन, पैक, कैस, मग। क्या है बेटा? जॉन नहीं, जॉन नहीं, चॉन, CHON, चॉन। CAS, कैस। PK is pack. चॉन, पैक, कैस, मग। कितना याद कर लो? चॉन, पैक, कैस, मग। ये मराठी में, हिंदी में लिखो। चॉन, पैक, कैस, मग। चॉन is CHON, पैक is PK, कैस is CAS, mug is MG. Chon, pack, cas, mug. That's it. Those are your macronutrients. So which are your macronutrients? Chon, pack, cas, mug. 5 times repeat करना मेरे पीछे, genuinely repeat करना, time pass नहीं. Chon, pack, cas, mug. 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 याद हो गया? याद हो गया? चलो, टेल मी, हु विल टेल दिस? हु विल टेल दिस? जैसे मैंने अभी बताया वैसे कौन बताएगा द मैक्रोन्यूट्रिएंट्स का लिस्ट? कम ऑन, समवन, I want someone to raise their hands. Come on, come on, come on, quickly, 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 quickly. Who has raised the hands? श्रेयस, चलो बेटा, वेरी गुड, बोल बोल बोल।
John, pack, gas, mug.
Excellent. चलो और भी कोई मुझे बताएगा. आई वांट समवन एल्स आल्सो टू से दिस. हु विल से. चलो यार, इट्स सो सिंपल यार, कम ऑन. बाकी के लोग हाथ ऊपर कर लो. इतना क्या डिफिकल्ट है इसमें? चॉन पैक कैस मग बोलने में कितना डिफिकल्ट है बच्चा. चलो बोलो बोलो बोलो. रेज योर हैंड्स क्विकली. कम ऑन कम ऑन कम ऑन कम ऑन कम ऑन. कम ऑन बेटा. कम ऑन जल्दी जल्दी. क्षितिजा, आई हैव नेवर हर्ड योर वॉइस बेटा. कैन आई
Yes,
कैन आई
miss.
हियर योर वॉइस बेटा? कैन
Yes,
यू?
miss.
या बोलो ना. जस्ट नाउ व्हाट आई सेड, व्हिच आर द मैक्रोन्यूट्रिएंट्स. मैंने आपको लिखवाया ना अभी. कैन यू प्लीज रिपीट इट? भाई इतना सिंपल है, इतना क्यों टेंशन ले रहे हो बेटा? इज इट सो डिफिकल्ट? चलो, आई विल आस्क Arya to say once and then you repeat it, okay? Kshitija, Arya, come on.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, what to repeat? I couldn't hear you.
Is it that only I can't hear or is it no one can hear? I think, Arya, there is some voice issue. I know you have unmuted yourself, but there was some issue with the voice. चलो मनन, मनन रिपीट कर बेटा. एक
John
बार
Pack Mug.
वापस वापस, मैं बीच में बोल गई.
John Pack Mug.
Very good, Manan. Okay, Kshitija, can you repeat this now?
John Pat Mug.
Excellent. John Pack Cas Mug. है ना? Simple है ना? क्या है? John Pack Cas Mug. Okay. What is John? Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen. John. Pack is what? PK. है ना? That is phosphorus and potassium. Cas is what? Calcium, sulfur. Mug is empty. John Pack Cas Mug. Easy. Easy. Chon is obtained from CO2 and water, while others are absorbed from the soil. As simple as that. Okay. Now see the micro. It includes iron, manganese, zinc, boron, copper, molybdenum, chlorine, nickel. हाँ प्राची बिल्कुल सही लिखा बेटा, यही मुझे चाहिए था. बिल्कुल सही प्राची. वेरी गुड वेरी गुड. Okay, so what all things are included in micronutrients? See, iron, manganese, zinc, boron, copper, molybdenum, chlorine, nickel. Correct? Correct. So 9 plus 8 becomes 17. How to remember this? Okay. चॉन पैक का स्मक तो याद हो गया है ना. इसमें तो कोई डिफिकल्टी नहीं आनी चाहिए. अब इसमें भी डिफिकल्टी कुछ नहीं है. जैसे मैं बोल रही हूँ वैसे ही वापस वो देवनागरी लिपि में आपको लिखना है. पहले मैं बोलती हूँ, बाद में लिखिएगा. ओके. MnZnBq मोकल. MnZnBq मोकल. MnZnBq मोकल. क्या बोला बेटा मैंने? MnZnBq मोकल. MnZnBq मोकल. 5 times, हाँ. MnZnBq मोकल. MnZnBq मोकल. MnZnBq मोकल. MnZnBq मोकल. MnZnBq मोकल. इजी. MnZnBq मोकल. तो हमने क्या किया था मैक्रो में? चॉन पैक कैस मग. माइक्रो में MnZnBq मोकल. चॉन पैक कैस मग. MnZnBq मोकल. MnZnBq मोकल. याद रहेगा? MNZNBQ मोकल, याद रहेगा बच्चा क्या? MNZNBQ मोकल, याद हो गया क्या? MNZNBQ मोकल बोलने को आएगा क्या? MNZNBQ मोकल, इजी, इजी नाउ, इट्स एक्चुअली इजी, है ना? अब हमारे दो बंदे बच गए, कौन बच गया? FE एंड NI, दो बच गए ना? किधर है? FE एक साइड पे है, NI दूसरी साइड पे है, तो हम क्या कहते हैं? MNZNBQ मोकल फ्लैंक्ड बाय फेनी, फ्लैंक्ड मीन्स एक साइड से एक आएगा, एक साइड से एक आएगा, फ्लैंक्ड बाय फेनी, फेनी तो याद करना सिंपल है ना? So MNZNBQ vocal flanked by Fanny. Is it fine? John Pack Casmug, MNZNBQ vocal flanked by Fanny. F is iron, IRON, iron जो होता है ना उसको हम F कहते हैं बेटा. John Pack Casmug, MNZNBQ vocal flanked by Fanny. ठीक है, है डिफिकल्टी इसमें कुछ? बताओ. MNZNBQ vocal flanked by Fen. Mn manganese, Zn zinc, Bq, it's not Q actually, it's BCU. So boron copper, but बोलने के लिए Q easy होता है ना? BQ mocal, MOCl, MO is molybdenum, Cl is chlorine. So MNZNBQ mocal flanked by Fen. फ्लैंक्ड, फ्लैंक्ड, FLANKED, फ्लैंकिंग करना, मतलब कैसे कहूँ आपको? आपके फ्रेंड्स कैसे होते हैं? दोनों आके दोनों तरफ से आके आपको एकदम ऐसे जकड़ लेते हैं ना, उसको कहते हैं फ्लैंकिंग. कमिंग फ्रॉम बोथ द साइड्स एंड फ्लैंकिंग, टाइटली पकड़ना. FLANKED, फ्लैंक्ड. इज इट ओके? इजी है? बताएगा मुझे कोई माइक्रोन्यूट्रिएंट्स? Will anyone tell me about the micronutrients का list? चलो हैंड रेज करो बच्चा, रेज योर हैंड्स. देवांग कम ऑन, गो अहेड. देवांग गो अहेड बेटा.
MNZNBQ mocal flanked by Fenny.
Excellent, excellent, very nice, very nice. Sonali, go ahead.
ZNBQ mucal flanked by Fenny.
Excellent. Komal, I want you to repeat all the 17. सारे.
John Pack Cass Mug, MNZNBQ Mocal, flanked by Penny.
Very nice, my dear. God bless you. Excellent, excellent, excellent. All 17 बोल सकेंगे अभी? All 17. हाँ? Yeah, Ashita, go ahead बेटा. Ashita, go ahead.
John Pack Cass Mug, MNZNBQ vocal flanked by Fenny.
Very good, my dear. Very nice. Excellent. Too good, too good. Very nice. चलो और मुझे 2-3 लोग चाहिए जो ये बोलेंगे. हाँ, बिकॉज ये ना इसके ऊपर बहुत क्वेश्चंस आते हैं आपके बोर्ड एग्जाम में भी. So I want you all to, be perfect with this. Who else? Yeah, Shravani Margus, can you go ahead, beta?
John Pack Cass Mug, MNZNBQ Mughal, flanked by Fenny.
So nice, my dear. Very good, very good, very nice, very nice. और 2 लोग बोलेंगे. हाँ, बिकॉज ये बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है ना, तो इसीलिए. चलो हैंड रेस करो बेटा आपका. हाँ मसीरा, गो अहेड बेटा, गो अहेड मसीरा.
John Pack Cass Mug, MNZNBQ BQ Mocal find by Penny.
Very nice, very nice, very nice. Perfect. Then who else? Who else? Who else? अरे यार हाथ भी नहीं तुम लोग ऊपर कर रहे हो सब लोग, मुझे लगा अभी तक सब लोग हाथ ऊपर करके क्लियर हो जाएंगे। ऑल 17, ऑल 17 कौन बोलेगा? 1 or 2 more, come on, 2 more people, 2 more people. Aditya, can you try? Aditya, please try. Aditya from Villaparle batch. Unmute yourself. Aditya, are you there? Or you have just logged in and you're roaming out and you're playing games and watching movies? What are you doing? Remember what I had told last class, huh? Again, I'm telling you. Okay, Saloni, go ahead, beta. Come on, Saloni, go ahead.
John Pack, Cass Mug, MNZN BQ Mokal, flanked by Fanny.
Excellent. So it's so simple and so easy, right? So you have understood all the 17. You know what is the reason for me to, make you all learn in this particular order? Because they ask you which is the seventh essential element, which is the 12th essential element, which is the 17th essential element. So when you know this now, when they ask you seventh essential element, start counting with your Chonpak Kasmak. फटाफट लिख लो बाजू में रफ वर्क में और काउंट करो, ये 7th है, ये 12th है, बिल्कुल इजी हो जाएगा। या एस इज सल्फर बेटा, यस एस इज सल्फर। ओके, गॉट इट। सो इसीलिए ना ये इसी ऑर्डर में जाना चाहिए। अब फेनी जो है वो एफ ई आएगा एक साइड पे, एन आई आएगा एक साइड पे। सो एफ ई इज रिक्वायर्ड इन मैक्सिमम अमाउंट्स with respect to micronutrients and nickel is required in least amount in micronutrients. So उस ऑर्डर में ही है, सबसे ज्यादा कार्बन, उससे कम हाइड्रोजन, उससे कम ऑक्सीजन, उससे कम नाइट्रोजन, उससे कम फॉस्फोरस, उससे कम पोटेशियम। वही 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 ऑर्डर में मैंने आपको दिया हुआ है। फ्रॉम इंक्रीजिंग टू द डिक्रीजिंग ऑर्डर मैंने आपको पढ़ाया है। ओके, सो बी वेरी केयरफुल, बी वेरी केयरफुल। ओके, if the question comes on this now, you should know it. Yeah, beta. All micros are obtained from soil. Yes, you are perfectly right, Devang. All are obtained from soil. ठीक है, चलो. Okay. Now, 4 broad categories of essential elements on the basis of their diverse function are as follows. Essential elements that are components of biomolecules, and here even they are going to be used as structural elements of the cells, which are CHON. तो किसके लिए CHON यूज होता है, किस चीज के लिए चॉन की जरूरत होती है? कंपोनेंट ऑफ बायोमोलिक्यूल्स। वी हैव डन बायोमोलिक्यूल्स ऑलरेडी, सो यू ऑल नो व्हाट इज, बायोमोलिक्यूल्स, है ना? सो चॉन इज गोइंग टू बी अ पार्ट ऑफ बायोमोलिक्यूल्स। देन some elements of these are components of energy related means ATP। P क्या है? phosphorus, है ना? As well as it's going to be your Mg, which is a part of your chlorophyll molecule. So chlorophyll का जो सेंटर होता है वो Mg का बना होता है। तो Mg and P are for energy. Mg is a part of chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is acting for absorption of light, converting solar energy into chemical energy. So it is also associated with energy. So biomolecules का component कौन है? CHON, बराबर है। एनर्जी रिलेटेड कंपोनेंट्स कौन है? Mg and P, correct? Essential elements which activates or inhibits enzymes. So some are inhibitors, enzyme inhibitors, some are enzyme activators. ठीक है? So see, Mg is an activator for ribulose bisphosphate carboxylase oxygenase, that is Rubisco. So for Rubisco you require Mg+2, and also for PEPA, pepcase, phosphoenol pyruvate carboxylase peptide. तो photosynthesis में C3 cycle में भी require rubisco and C4 cycle में भी require peptase as well as rubisco. So photosynthesis के दोनों enzymes को activate करने के लिए what is required? Mg. Fine. Zn plus 2 is an activator of alcohol dehydrogenase. So alcohol dehydrogenases are a group of enzymes. उनको एक्टिवेट करने के लिए किसकी जरूरत है? जिंक की जरूरत है. Molybdenum is the activator of the enzyme nitrogenase. So ये 3 enzymes याद रखिए, 3 बेटर 4 है. Rubisco and peptase को एक्टिवेट करने के लिए Mg चाहिए. अल्कोहल डिहाइड्रोजनेज के लिए Zn चाहिए एंड नाइट्रोजनेज के लिए मोलिब्डेनम चाहिए. फाइन. सो दीज नेम्स आर इम्पोर्टेंट. ओके. तो एक हो गया बायोमोलिक्यूल्स के कॉम्पोजिशंस, एक हो गया एनर्जी रिलेटेड, एक हो गया अपना एंजाइम एक्टिवेटर्स. चौथा क्या है देखो, द इसेंशियल एलिमेंट्स दैट ऑल्टर the osmotic potential of a cell. So K plus and H plus basically are involved in the opening and closing of stomata. This will be taught to you by sir in transport and plants wala chapter first. So K plus and H plus, these two are responsible for opening and closing of stomata. K plus यहाँ पर mentioned है but H plus भी role play करता है. So 4 चीजों के लिए essential element जरूरत है. Components of biomolecules, energy related, enzyme activators and osmotic potential concentration alter कराना. ठीक है. Minerals as solutes determine the water potential of a cell. So water potential also sir will explain to you all in that particular chapter of transport. So minerals as solutes determine water potential of a cell. So जितना solute ज़्यादा उतना पानी अंदर ज़्यादा आएगा, जितना पानी अंदर ज़्यादा आएगा उतना सेल टर्जिड हो जाएगा. फाइन. Which point you want me to explain, my dear? Third point. Yeah. So essential elements like Mg, Zn and Mo are required for activation of certain enzymes. So Mg is required for activation of rubisco and peptase, which are photosynthetic pigments. Okay. Zn is required for the activation of alcohol dehydrogenases. Okay. And molybdenum is required for the enzyme nitrogenase, which is helping in nitrogen fixation of for plants. Fine. Got it? Yes. Yes. So this is about the essential elements. Functions and efficiency symptoms of the essential elements. The concentration of the essential element below which the plant growth is retarded is called as critical concentration. उतना चाहिए, उससे कम हो गया तो वो plant मर जाएगा. The element is said to be deficient when present below the critical concentration. In absence of any particular element, plant shows certain morphological changes called as deficiency symptoms. So if any of these 17 essential में से अगर कोई एक भी कम है या absent है, so that will be shown in the morphological form of the plant. When deficient mineral is provided to the plant, the deficiency symptoms will disappear, and if the deficiency continues, it may even lead to the death of the plant. Deficiency symptoms in parts of the plants also depend on the mobility of the elements in the plant. Mobility of the elements. The elements need to be mobilized, especially from the senescent parts to the meristematic parts. You know what is senescent parts? So एक leaf है, senescent हो चुका है, उसको पता है कि अब वो मरने वाला है, वो झड़ने वाला है, वो गिरने वाला है, तो उसके पास जितने भी ये 17 एलिमेंट्स में से जो भी कुछ के उसके पास है, that leaf में से ये एलिमेंट्स मोबिलाइज होके मेरिस्टेमेटिक जोन तक पहुंचने चाहिए. ठीक है. That is called as mobilization of elements. Fine. Got it? So this is the way the mobilization जितना ज़्यादा possible है उतना deficiency कम होता जाएगा. Correct? To identify the deficient element, one has to study all the symptoms developed in all parts of the plant. Different plants respond differently to the deficiency of the same plant. So different plants respond differently. Deficiency would be same, but response given is going to be different by different plants. Is it fine? So these are the functions and deficiency symptoms of essential elements. Mobility of elements. Actively mobilized elements exported to young developing tissues. The deficiency appears first in older tissues. अब देखो ये older tissue है, इसमें से जितने भी nutrients है 17, they all will be mobilized to the young developing tissues. So what will happen? इसके nutrients चले गए, इसके minerals चले गए, तो deficiency symptoms किस में दिखेंगे बेटा? जिधर से वो चले गए उधर के दिखेंगे ना. So this leaf which is actually getting older, है ना, it has given out all its elements to the developing embryos or developing apices or meristems, and therefore the wilting effect, the yellowing effect, the decaying effect will be seen in whom? The older part. Agreed? Example, deficiency symptom of nitrogen, potassium, magnesium will be visible first in senescent leaves. That means potassium, magnesium, nitrogen, they are quickly mobilized. They are the first one to get mobilized. इसीलिए इनके deficiencies किधर दिखेंगे हमें? Older leaves में दिखेंगे, है ना, senescent leaves में दिखेंगे. Elements which are relatively immobile and are not transported out of mature organs, the deficiency symptoms will be appearing in the young tissues. Young tissues को ये elements की ज़रूरत है. Soil में वो available नहीं है. Old leaf में वो available है, लेकिन old leaf इसको दे नहीं सकता. किसको? Young developing areas को दे नहीं सकता. तो इसके deficiency symptoms कहाँ पर दिखेंगे? Young developing tissues में दिखेंगे. For example, sulfur and calcium are part of structural components of the cell and hence they cannot be readily or easily mobilized. Calcium और sulfur क्या है? ये skeleton बनाते हैं leaf का, stem का. तो जो skeleton है वो तो collapse नहीं करा सकते ना, उधर से तो हम खींच नहीं सकते ना calcium को. Therefore calcium deficiency होती है, sulfur deficiency होती है. So though it is present in the senescent leaves, it will be not get mobilized and its deficiency will be shown by the younger growing tissues. So here you can see, ये जो है ये senescent leaf है. Can you see these brown spots over here? See, this is called as necrosis. तो ये browning effect जो आ रहा है older leaf में, क्यों? क्योंकि इसके elements उसने younger leaf को दे दिए. इसलिए अभी इसके पास वो एलिमेंट्स नहीं है, इसलिए इसकी तबीयत खराब हो गई. Look at this. This is a very young developing leaf which has become yellow. Can you see this leaf has become yellow? Correct? Yellowing effect आ रहा है बेटा. ये young developing है, फिर भी इनमें yellowing हुआ. क्यों हुआ? Because they require calcium and sulfur for their growth, but they do not get it from the older plants. So the effect is seen in this younger tissues here. Got this? Clear? Okay. Now this is the functions and deficiency symptoms of essential elements. It's almost 10. So I'll continue with this part tomorrow. And tomorrow this chapter will be completed. Fine. Tomorrow the lecture जो अपना है morning 8 to 10 वाला, इसमें ये chapter mineral nutrition कल खत्म हो जाएगा. It's a very small chapter. Yeah, I'll send the PDF. Yeah, it's a very small chapter बेटा. तो छोटा सा है, तो आज और कल में मिलके ये खत्म. So tomorrow we'll complete this chapter. Only deficiency symptoms are remaining and nitrogen cycle is remaining. That's all. Fine. I'll send you all the PDF as early as possible. today or maximum by tomorrow, if possible today, but otherwise by tomorrow. ठीक है, चलो bye बेटा, see you all, see you tomorrow, that is from 8 to 10. Okay, bye bye, see you all.